Hi, I'm Robert Scott, and I'm here with Steve Sauter. He's the Field Operations Superintendent here at Central Sand. And he's going to tell us about their Yellow Book training documentation tool. So Steve, what is the Yellow Book?
So the Yellow Book, as he said, it's a tool for us to be sure that all our new employees, that we properly document the training they receive in the field. It goes through each one of our working sections: hydro, rotting, construction, TV, and it gives the crew leader and the supervisor a chance to initial and go over with each individual employee the training they receive in the field, and be sure that we document that so that when they're up for a promotion, it shows that they've been proficient in each one of the sections.
Okay, sounds good. So give me a little history. Why was this tool developed?
Well, I've been here at the district for 26 years, and it's been here longer than me.
Oh.
So I don't know why it was developed, but I can assume that, as I said before, this gives you the opportunity that if you have any questions on an employee, whether they've received in-house training, CPR first aid, or whether you've received on-the-job training, how to do a repair, or the proper tools to use on a rotor or hydro, it's all documented right here. And if there's any question, you can refer back to this and say, oh yeah, on this date, he worked with this crew leader, this supervisor, and he showed a level of knowledge and expertise that was sufficient to move on to the next step.
Oh, that's good, man. It's impressive to me that you guys been using this for over 26 years, and it stood the test of time. And
yeah, we made minor modifications, but for the most part, it's as it started.
It's still, that's great. So you've told me somewhat of how you've used it. Any other thing you want to add to the way that you guys use it?
Well, it really helps out the supervisors, because at times when you do have a larger turnover than just one or two employees, you might have a program where you bring half a dozen employees in, and you're trying to keep track of who they're working with, what crews they're on, have they spent enough time on this crew or that crew. Hey, let me check out your book, where you sit with this, and you can find out, hey, they need to spend a little more time on one section over another one. Also, what this does is this is required for the crew members to have completely full within a 18-month span, I believe. If they want to become a crew leader, this document has to be completed, has to be signed off by all the crew leaders, the supervisors, and myself. And generally what we'll do is we'll individually sit down with the employee, kind of go over each one of the areas and say, well, ask them some questions to be sure that they really understand what they're doing. It wasn't just a real quick, oh yeah, he did fine, and we're going to go along with it. This makes sure that we're comfortable with their level of knowledge and experience.
Okay. You said that you sit down with their Yellow Book. So is it that each employee has their own personal Yellow Book?
Yes, every new employee that comes on board, the first, second day they come in, they are handed this Yellow Book. You can see here it has their name on it, the day they start, and from there on there's several sections. If you want to look at the field operations, so I'll go over that with them, with general stuff in the yard, rotting, hydro, CCTV, locating, construction, and on-call. So they'll even have to do a certain on-call rotation as a third wheel, we call it. Instead of just a two-man crew, we'll have a three-man crew or three-person crew. And that way it gives them a little insight on what goes on in the on-call crew and what's to be expected of them.
Okay, great, man. Sounds like a great tool. Are there any other ways or things you can explain, that any other benefits that you guys derive from using it?
I may be forgetting something. There could be other uses for it. That's our main use, is to be sure we properly document, so if there's any question in the future. Also, like I said, it's required to move on to the next step of a crew leader. I'm sure there's other stuff if I had some time to think about it.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine. I would imagine that it will, you mentioned how it helps the supervisors. I imagine it especially will help a new supervisor who's just now learning his new staff.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
And so, that's great. So, any suggestions you'll have for anyone who might be interested in using a tool like this Yellow Book?
One suggestion is, think of your business, what you do, and the areas that you want to grade them on. Think of regulatory issues or certain things that lawfully you have to fulfill, and get that in there, so you make sure it's documented, it's not only done, but documented as well. Like they say, if there's no document, it didn't happen.
Okay.
So this actually gives you signatures, initials, dates when everything happened, and if you ever have to go back to that for some reason, it's all right there.
Sounds great. There you have it. The Yellow Book training documentation tool here at Central Sand, and I'm with Steve Sauter. This tool is available for your use if you like.